Welcome to the Aligned Soul Woo and the Do Business and Manifestation podcast for the entrepreneurial woman who doesn't talk about it, she bees about it. I am excited about this episode because it is all about how you are going to make this your $500,000 year. Yes, we're talking about $500,000. And what is really cool about this is if you have been a part of the Aligned Soul world, you know we're not talking about linear, right? We're not, it doesn't talk about only linear success. You have to go from this piece to this piece and then to this piece. No, quantum leaps are normal. I'm the quantum manifestation queen. This is amazing. This is what we do. And what I'm doing here is I'm laying the groundwork for foundations that get to be set up in order to create that multi-million dollar year. So, this is specifically speaking about how you're going from a $250,000 year to a $500,000 year. This isn't to say it needs to take step by step to get there, but you need to have done the things in episodes 8 and 9 in order to allow what I'm speaking to in this episode to really land and for you to actually implement it. So, if you haven't listened to episode 8 and 9, press pause on this one, go back, listen to 8 and 9, look at your business, see if you've implemented some of the things that I've talked about, and then come on back. Okay. So, this episode is all about a $500,000 year. And now that I know that you are up to speed on the foundations and you know the 7 things to do to create your $250,000 year. In this episode, I'm going to talk about why it's easier to go to 500,000 and $1 million years. I'm also going to talk about why most people don't do it. It's the 1% out of the 1%. I'm going to tell you what it's going to take to get you there and what I am doing to have the $10 million year that I am, manifesting on, taking the steps towards allowing myself to be the woman who has that. Here's the thing. It is easier to jump income levels, and the reason why it is easier to go from, let's say, 250,000 to 500,000 or $1 million year, it is because there is a compounding effect when it comes to your work. This is why when you are creating your six-figure, multi-six-figure, early stages and all of that stuff, you shouldn't look at what isn't happening like after you post for a few months, like what's going on, why haven't I hit it yet, blah blah blah. No, there is a compounding effect. Every move you make is building momentum, building an effect, building an audience, building consistency, creating that know, like, and trust factor, having people know that you're the one, you're the mentor for them. You're not in it for the short period, you're in it for the long haul. All of your moves are compounding. And that's when the explosion happens. And you look back and you're like, oh my God, I'm having a $500,000 year. Now, this won't happen for most. And the reason why it's that, people talk about the 1% of the 1%. Successful entrepreneurs, the people that are successful, that are making money in their business, that have consistent clients, that are doing an amazing job, the reason why it is only that 1% of people who, like, there's a big percentage of people that want to have their own business, but there's only 1% that's going to do the work to do it. And it's not because of not having the ability or not being able to manifest it. It's because a lot of people aren't going to do the work that's required to get them there. A lot of people are looking at things from a space of lack. So if we come back to what I was speaking about the compounding effect, when you look at lack and you're like, why am I not there yet? And you're always in the gap, like you're always like, I'm looking forward, why haven't I gotten there yet? What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? You are actually compounding things, but compounding them in a direction you don't want to go. This is where the woo part comes in. My clients that have been successful, that are creating multi six figure and seven figure years, aren't creating from a space of lack. They aren't saying, okay, I'm missing this. This is why I'm where I'm wrong. How can I, get better because this is bad? They are looking to, of course, improve. They're looking at spaces where they can see a gap in their product suite. They're looking for where they can be the gap in the market, the bridge for their clients. Yes, but it's not from a space of lack. It's not because they think they're bad. It's not because they're looking at things they need to fix about them. It's not because they're working on like who hasn't bought yet and why haven't they bought and are they not buying because I'm this and because I haven't done that. No, it's not in that energy. It's more from a wow, I've gotten here. Wow, it's so expanded. I know my client is out there. They're so excited. What else can I do to reach them? How can I, what amazing things do I get to add to what I've already created that's already fabulous? It's allowing your results that are there, seeing what is working and allowing what is working to create even more momentum. I've done this before. I have gotten to I've had $42,000 months, I've had $60,000 months, and I've gotten there. And then I looked and I was like, oh no, like, can I maintain this? What do I need to do to maintain it? How can I, keep these people coming? And so it was more from a lack based, like, what if I lose it energy versus, oh my God, things are working. Yes, I'm on the right track. Yes, my clients are loving what I'm doing. This is great. It was less from that standpoint. And so, what I got to do was to come back to remembering what was working, looking at all the things that are working in my favor, looking at how results compound and how it's just gonna keep getting better and better, and shifting, of course, seeing where there may be a gap in my product suite, looking at what else my clients are looking for, and remembering that I'm always on the right track. My desires are inevitable, and I am always moving towards the direction of my desires unfolding. That's just point blank, period. Things shifted rapidly for me when I started looking at what's working. When I moved out of need to a space of desire. How much fun I got to have. How amazing my clients already were, serving the clients that were already there. This is why my clients jump from $0 to 600,000 cash. This is why they have $500,000 quarters. This is why they can have $100,000 days. And it's because they are not sitting in the gap. They're not always looking at what they're missing. They're not always trying to reach and run and feel like they're on some kind of hamster wheel getting to the milestone. Then they get to that milestone and running for another one. Yes. Oh my God, why am I writing, doing this podcast? 120,000, 250, 500, million. I have big goals and intentions, $10 million year. Yes. And I also know that I'm happy with who I am and where I am. We're going to have a whole podcast on acceptance. Jen, one of my clients, requested this as a topic, and I love to talk about acceptance. That's a big part of the mindset of someone who's going to have a $500,000 year or who's having a million plus year. Accepting where you are, loving where you are, loving the clients that you have, and being excited for the more that gets to unfold. Now, let's talk about what it's going to take and what I am doing to create my multi-million dollar year. It is so important. And we talked about leadership in the last podcast. Your leadership needs to be even more on lock. You need to make sure that you are supported like I said, mastermind, surrounding yourself with people that are doing what you're doing and way bigger so that you can normalize these types of numbers, clearing energy leaks even more, being even bolder in your messaging, prioritizing monthly recurring revenue that continues to stack on stack on stack, and prioritizing your inner work because what? Aligned millionaires are millionaires that inner matches the outer, and the outer is reflecting the inner. It is super important for you to be that millionaire from the inside out. And that happens when you tighten up your inner work, when you prioritize, you know, yourself, your happiness, your joy, when you can accept where you are and be excited for the more instead of regretting where you are, thinking you need to be another place and staying in the gap. Because if you're always looking at where you need to get to, you're always going to be in a space that you're never going to be happy where you are. And when you are happy where you are, that's where everything unfolds. That's where manifestations happen so quickly. That's where clients are coming out of the blue, pay in fulls, all of the things. That's when it happens. This is what is going to get you to your $500,000 year. And this is why you'll see very successful people are surrounding themselves with other successful people because there are different elevated conversations that you're going to have with those type of people than you're going to have with your normal girlfriends. And it doesn't mean you can't keep your normal girlfriends. Yes, those get to be your normal girlfriends. You get to go out, have drinks, talk about the guys, do all the things you want to do. And you get to have business relationships where you're going to have these elevated business level conversations. That's with a mentor, close proximity mentor. That's with being in a high level mastermind. There are people that I know who have $100 million businesses and they pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to be in rooms with other people doing what they're doing and people that are doing bigger things. Why? Because they know how much and how important it is to surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you desire to do, and they make it look easy because that shifts your mindset and you begin to see it as easy. You begin to see it as normal. You begin to see it as this is just the way it is in my life. This is just what I expect. This is just how things are for me. I promise you, when you do the things that I've talked about in podcast 8 and 9, 10, and this podcast, you are going to experience an expansion beyond your belief. You're going to start seeing things unfold in your favor. You're going to start seeing the right people coming into your spaces. You're going to be doing things from a space of expansion. You're going to see things compound. You're going to see things unfold so fast because you have done the inner work, the prioritization work. You've surrounded yourself with people who are doing that and make it look easy. And you're being bolder and bigger in your messaging. You're talking to the people you desire to work with. You are clearing energy leaks and you're ensuring that you are supported in every area, being the leader that you have been called to be. I'm telling you, this is so important. Listen to this podcast over and over again because it is not about what you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. That is why identity work is so important. That is why prioritizing your inner work and being the person is so important. That is why I am tapping into being the $10 million woman and doing the $10 million woman things. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in the next podcast. If you are listening via Spotify, I want you to type below, I claim my $500,000 year. And I want you to do two things for me. I want you to remember to leave a 5-star review so that people can find this podcast, and don't forget to subscribe. Share with me what topics about business and manifestation you want me to riff about. You can email me at thewooandthedo@anahob.com. Include your name, your email, and your Instagram handle so that I can shout you out when I do that episode. Sign up for the email list, the Frequency Shift email list. It's all in the show notes. And join the best business and manifestation membership in the world called the B Collective. You can find out more in the show notes because it will change your life. I will see you in the next episode. We're going to talk about how to make this year your $1,000,000 plus year. Promise you, you do not want to miss it. Remember, don't talk about it, be about it, and be her now. Hugs, kisses, and all the feels. See you in the next episode.